What's up, guys? Today I took a day off, a forced day off, because yesterday I lost again, and I realized that I cannot really handle myself. I need a break. It's too much losing for my brain, so I realized that I have to take more days off, because otherwise I'll just be in this constant pressure, and the feeling that I have that I need to win back the money that I lost, it's not healthy. So I decided to take a study day off. So today I want to focus myself on studying hands and see if the results I have this month are really from bad luck, or is it really me playing bad? At some point it's hard to distinguish between bad luck and bad results. Let me share with you the hands I played yesterday, and maybe you can give me your opinion. What do you think? Can I play better? Can I fold some of the hands that I lost? Was there a way out for me? We will see. We have pocket eights, and we defend the big blind versus cutoff open. The flop is ace-8 rainbow, and we check naturally, and he decides to check back. This is a Chinese regular. I think he's capable of trapping sometimes. I also expect like he would bet here the strongest aces, because I mean, it's obvious that he has a 3 street of value to gain here. Me being in the big blind and having many small aces. But he decides to check back. The turn is a king, and now I'm only concerned about pocket kings, to be honest. But other than that, I don't think he can have ace king. So I think a check raise here is in order, because my read on this guy was that he was capable of spewing away and checking me out light whenever my line doesn't make sense. So I thought I should check raise here and make him guess what the fuck I'm doing, because this is not what I would normally do, right? Probably I should just lead against a normal opponent, but yeah, because it's hard for me to have bluffs here, right? When I check raise the turn, I check, he bets 300, I raise to 900, and he calls. The river is a 3, basically not changing much, although if he happened to have ace 3, now he's ahead. So I decide to pot it. I pot bet. He makes it 6,500, which is weird, right? What is he trying to represent here? I don't know. Kings or ace 3, right? These would be his combos. Now, to be honest, if I think about my line, checking the flop, check raising the turn, and pot betting the river, this is a very, very strong line on this board. And I don't think even a spewy player, I don't think he can bluff here on the river with whatever. I don't think it's happening. So if we rule out his bluffs, what it remains? Only like values, right? He can have 2 combos of ace 8, 6 combos of ace 3, and 3 combos of kings. So it's 8, 14 combos. So I think it's many combos of hands that beat me. Anyway, I call him, and he shows me ace king, so he got me. I thought I was laying the trap, but I fell into the trap. What can I say? I think I should have folded the river. I know it looks weird, like you fold full houses, but when you play in environments where people just don't bluff raise the river, and I think this is pretty much anywhere at this level and below, I think you can make tough folds. Yeah, I think this is a mistake. Another hand, which is definitely a mistake, I open king queen off and get called in the big blind. The flop is king 8-7 with 8-7 of spades. I see bet and I get check raised. This player is a player that showed a lot of bluffs to me and to the table lately, so he's very capable of bluffing. So I call, the turn is a 4 and he quickly checks. Now, of course, he could have 5-6, but I don't expect on this board for him to check very often unless he check raises again. In which case, if I bet, I think I'm gonna fold. Even against a very aggressive player, I don't think he would have too many bluffs with this line, check raise, check raise. So I think a bet is in order here in case he had some bluffs that now he wants to give up with, and still has some equity against my king queen, like a pair, middle pair, bottom pair, those types of hands that now I'm fine with him folding. Also, he might have flush draws and stuff like that he decided to give up. So I bet the turn and he calls. The river is a 5, so there are 4 cards to a straight now, and he thinks for a long time and puts me all in. So it's basically a pot size bet, and I have to think, what hands does he play like this? And it's hard to come up with an answer, you know. He doesn't have too many 6s. Probably he double barrels with them. Maybe 8-6, 7-6 hands like that might check call the turn with, although I think those hands work best as a barrel. But you know, it's hard to put him on a 6 here, and I don't think he value bets 2 pairs here. I don't think he's that capable. Again, making assumptions, which is very dangerous. But here my logic should have been that I'm not that capped. Of course, I don't have a 6. I very rarely have a 6 myself, but I'm not capped because given that I have aces, I have ace king, I still have sets. So I think I can fold this one because it's from the weaker part of my range, and to do anything else, call, I really need strong reads on my opponent. But given that I already was losing, I was probably on some type of passive tilt, and I decided to pay him off, and he showed me 7-8, so I really got owned. And again, the mistake is that I tried to make very high exploited plays based on not enough information, or maybe, I don't know, personal things, or with other players. I don't know, I have to analyze this today, and tomorrow we start over. We still have 10 days of play left in the challenge. That's 100 hours of play if I play 10 hours every day. But again, I'm not forcing that to happen, because especially when I run bad, it's hard to play long hours and to play good, and I'm very aware with that. So I'm just trying to do my best, to play my best, even if that means not hitting even 200 hours. I don't care about that. Hello guys. It's a very sunny day here in Macau. I'm hiding down here beneath a tree to find some shade so I look good on camera. It's day 23 of the Poker October Challenge, week number 4. And when I say week number 4, I mean the 4th interval of 6 days, in which I play for 5 days and take 1 day off. Of course, I deviated from that because, you know, I've not been running so good, and I forced myself to take some breaks in order to get my mental state back in shape. But I'm still on track. I think I'm on track to make 220 hours or so, and I'm fine with that. Yesterday though, I played 12 hours, super massive session, and this is something I think we should discuss about, because sometimes it's just necessary to extend your stay in a session even when you're tired, because your win rate is so high in specific table configurations like I had last night. So when I first started playing yesterday, the game was terrible. It was a Tuesday, the game just started, only regulars that they came in motivated to play good, to not make mistakes, and of course they will not make so many mistakes in the beginning of the session. And if I compare that to the later part of the session, after already 8 hours of play, I think the game got really good, and I had a very good position at the table. The 3 very big fishes were in my direct right, and that matters a lot, you know, when you have 3 weak players in your right, and in my left I had very tight regulars that wouldn't really put pressure on me or wouldn't really challenge me in any way by 3-betting or other things like that. So it was a dream scenario for me, and although my usual playing time would be like up to 10 p.m. this time I decided to extend my stay, because even if it messes a little bit with my schedule and I have to sleep later the next day and maybe come to play poker later, and maybe the next day, like today, maybe I'm gonna play fewer hours, but in the moment your win rate may be more than double. So that really counts for a lot of your win rate in the long term. So I decided to stay extra, and I stayed until almost 1, I think 12:30. So I stayed like 2.5 hours more than I was comfortable with, because I thought my win rate is higher. But then, even though the table was still good, I was feeling so tired, and I knew that if I continue like this, I am more prone to make mistakes, and thus my win rate will not be as high as it should be in such a game. So I decided that enough is enough, call it a day, go home, and tomorrow, which is today, is another day. In terms of how I've run, it was not very good. I made a mistake early in the session where I got it in big blind versus small blind with ace queen offsuit. When I saw big blind button opened, small blind just called, I squeezed for 15 big blinds, and button folded and small blind pushed all in. Again, I leveled myself into thinking that this is one regular that is capable of stacking off light or doing dumb shit, but obviously lately these have only been in my head. So he had pocket kings and we lost this one.
One quick thing to note here is that this is the same regular against whom I had the hand with pocket 8s on ace 8 and the turn was a king. Maybe I had some biases against this player and I just can't help it but pay him off. So I really have to think about this and analyze this situation.
So the rest of the session I tried to get back on track after the initial loss, and I would, after going down, I would just slowly go back up, then another unlucky hand will happen and I would just plunge again into downswing, and at the end of the night I finished minus 10,000 Hong Kong. That's only one buy-in, and I think it's just a good result considering the overall session. My hair looks so messy, shit. Yes guys, what else can I say? I'm gonna jump back, I mean not back, I'm gonna jump into the session. It's 15 minutes till 12. See you later guys.
Hello guys, it's not looking good. This game really seems to be rigged in so many ways. So as I think you already can guess, the session didn't went well, and it's still daytime, and I think I'm done for today. Considering how I've run lately, my threshold for getting out of my normal focus zone and my normal game, it's very low now. So it doesn't take much for me to get tilted. And I felt that early in the session today after, just basic hands. When I have jacks on 10 high board, I see bet get raised, which usually it's not a good sign in these tight games, and I have to fold either the flop or the turn. When I'm bluff catching, I'm always losing, or very small things like this that normally I could take in a lot of them, like days and days, but now I come fresh to play poker and the first thing just snaps me out of my game, and I'm always, okay, this again, really? Of course I'm getting raised. Of course, you should have known that. Why do you even bother c-betting? And of course that makes me deviate from my normal game and make mistakes here and there. And then when a big bomb comes and I get a suck out or hands like these that I'm about to tell you, someone isolates an under the gun limp, so under the gun +1 isolates. We have a call in the cutoff and we call in the big blind with pocket deuces. We go 3-way to a flop, 10-7 deuce rainbow, so this guy c-bets, and I decide to just call here. Button set, sometimes I think it's good to have in my flatting range from the big blind where I should have a very wide range. So on a 10-7 deuce rainbow, I think it's okay against a thinking player to have some traps, and we go heads up to a turn 9, and there's a backdoor flush draw now available. I check, he checks back. The turn is a king, completing the flush, and I bet 2,500, a relatively large bet, and he thinks for a while and makes it 9,300. This is a thinking player, and I think he knows that on that 9 he doesn't have too much fold equity. So I think he's smart enough not to bluff flush draw on the turn or even the open ender, because he knows that he doesn't have much fold equity. So he checks back, and he should check back even some overpairs here maybe. Yeah, the king now completes the queen jack and also completes some flushes, which I think he has in his range. So when he raises, now I have to think that is he capable of bluffing, and the answer is yes. I think he's one of the few players that he's capable of turning like ace queen with ace of spade into a bluff here. Good for him if he does, but I decided to, okay, let it go. I paid these guys too much, so yeah, I just fold. I feel good about my fold, but I don't feel good because I'm constantly forced to make these type of folds. When I don't, I get punished. Anyway, next hand, the last hand of the day, under the gun +1, makes it 300. The player immediate after him calls, and I squeeze in ace king of diamonds for 1,200. They both call. The flop comes ace 5-4 with 5-4 of diamonds, and check. I decide to check back. I'm not sure if this is good or not, but I like to have these type of hands in my checking back range. Again, I'm protecting myself, but I don't think I should in these games. Anyway, it cannot be a big mistake here, checking back ace king. But the turn is a queen, and the initial raiser from pre-flop, he now bets. The other guy calls, I call as well, and the river is a king. Pot is 1,200. Check. This guy bets 6,000, and now it's up to me to raise, not to raise. And I don't know, I figured out that there must be enough ace queen and king queen in his range that I can justify going all in, and which is what I did. And he of course snap called me with jack 10 of diamonds. And it's really frustrating when you see that these very rare occasions when he can win this hand, he actually gets the card to win, and then of course I make the mistake of going all in on the river. I think it's a mistake, I'm not even sure at this point. Again here, another thing to note is that this was the same player I was talking about earlier when with the hand on ace-8 where he had ace-king, I had pocket 8, and the ace-queen hand against king-kings when I paid him all in pre-flop for 100 big blinds with ace-queen. So for some reason I just keep making the same mistakes against this player. I tell myself that he's loose, he's spewy, he's weak, whatever, but he just keeps owning me, value owning me, and I just keep paying him off. So I think this is something worth noting. So it's absolutely, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I have to really analyze things, because in the past year I've had a couple of downswings, really big downswings, and this is another one. So I don't think it's normal for a live environment to have that many, so maybe my skill level is not that good, or maybe the games I'm playing in don't allow for a big win rate, thus allowing for a much higher variance and bigger downswings. That being said, I'm gonna take the rest of the day off, and Anda is waiting for me to eat in the park. This is one of my favorite things that we can do here in Macau, eating outside. They have really nice parks, and it's really nice to enjoy the outside while eating, having lunch or dinner or whatever. And many people do that here, and I really love this about Macau. So yeah, I'm gonna go and enjoy some salmon. I don't know how it's made, but I'm pretty sure it's good because she cooks amazing. Even though I run bad at poker, I must say I run good at life by having her by my side. So that being said, see you later guys. Bye.